What is going on, everyone? Today is the day. Main event time is here. Sporting at the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is the Rapple. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Kronos. His name is El Matador. The map is Alfheim. Genesis. EGC TV hosted tournament here. $15,000 on the line. You win this, you keep going on. You lose this, there's a second chance. You've got a loser's bracket in this tournament. So it's not the end of the world to be dropping games right now. But you always want to keep that lifeline alive so that when you get to the really, the nuts and bolts of it all, you give yourself the best chance of finding a win and getting through to the finals to get that big chance at the main prize. But we do have a really interesting matchup here to kick this game off. Isis versus Kronos. Not a matchup that I get to see all too often, but a matchup that I have a tiny bit of experience in. Now, what can Isis do here? She's got one strategy that is kind of from the old school, which is the Priest Siege. She's going to be very strong. You can go for a 2-town center Priest Siege attack. You can go for a 1-town center Priest Siege attack. Anything like that is going to be putting pressure onto the Kronos player, putting a lot of and creating a lot of problems for them. Other strategies do just involve simply just playing a 2-town center classical fight, kind of being a little bit aggressive with those military units and all the other good stuff that happens there, as well as like some fast mythic ideas. So against Kronos, a little bit crazy to be going for that, as well as ideas of maybe even going through Bast off of 1-town center and making Sphinx and doing a Sphinx classical fight and trying to punish a greedy Kronos player. We'll have to wait and see what Rapple's going to be picking here. El Matador, on the other hand, everything that I've seen from Kronos recently points towards fast second town center play. It's so obscenely quick to finish the town center. You can get a 3:30 advance time. You can get the town center started immediately. You can put 2 manas onto it to speed it up, and the town center can be done by about 4 minutes into the game, which is absolutely huge. But Temple is now going to be moving forward onto this position over here, and does Rapple see this one? Rapple does not see it. It's just out of line of sight. Really nice positioning there for it. Obviously here, El Matador going to be wanting to stop the town center of Rapple from getting shot up straight away. So he's going to be trying to deny that. We see the Temple coming up here for the Rapple. He's going for a slightly later advance time. I don't hate the late advance times from Isis in this matchup, but it does leave you open to some serious problems as we see the Bast coming through. It's going to be a 3:15 advance time, 4:15 classical age advance time here for the Rapple, and those Prometheans are going to be on the hunt for villagers straight away. The Temple is in a nice spot. He can put a house over here as well if he sees the units coming through. He could also drop some walls around these towers if he so chooses. He is open to getting deconstructed on those towers as well, which could open this position up. But Rapple at this point, he sees the Prometheans coming in, going to be dropping those houses down all around here. Temple going to be getting deconstructed. Was not next to the monument there. A little bit greedy from the Rapple. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map here, not sure exactly what he's going for. There's the villagers. He's going for a town center. No surprises here from El Matador as the Promethean searching for a villager kill or 2 at the moment, but Pharaoh's in position, going to be chasing that Promethean away, moves forward, starting to get a little bit of those special bullets off, but in the end, Promethean has to leave. Villager over here is getting a little bit of damage done. Good micro from El Matador trying to dodge those arrows and everything else, but does end up losing the Promethean. You can see the town center is getting shot up here. And what is the plan for our main, the Rapple? Looks like he's staying 1 town center. 2 monuments are now up. He's getting himself that Sacred Cats technology, only with a handful of villages on gold. So it's either a fast heroic here, or it's going to be some sort of classical fight aggression. We'll have to wait and see, but I really like where El Matador is in this game at the moment. 2 town centers are up. Counter barracks coming down. Rapple, not 100% sure what's going on with his current scouting, so he could get caught out here to kick this game off. Not really sure what El Matador's doing. Though he does see the center of the map, he does see that there's no military. So if there's no military, there's only two other things he could be doing: teching or going for the heroic age. Or going for the second age. Teching is going for the heroic age or going for a town center. Nonetheless, we do have the big fat obelisk getting taken out in the center of the map as well, as those priests are going to be searching around for things to take out. Meanwhile, over on this position, the Sphinx does spot this, and to me, it is looking like a fast heroic and a market coming up here for the Rappel. So this is going to be have to be a potent timing attack here from Rappel in one way, shape, or form. Whether he goes for a fast mythic, whether he goes for a fast heroic for the timing attack, that's going to be what dictates everything in this game. Meanwhile, Sphinx here getting targeted down a little bit here as the Promethean Offspring going to be charging after that one. And it looks like El Matador at the moment just going to be trying to control the map. He's just making out those Terma for the moment, which does, honestly, if I see this as the ISIS player, I start thinking, yes. Because what does this mean? This means El Matador is not going for a semi-fast heroic. And what does that mean? Or not a semi-fast heroic. He's not going for a 2-town center fast heroic. That means he's not going to be able to defend against Priest Siege. But the Terma coming through, Temple gets deleted there. Villagers pulling off. You're seeing on the Temple coming up. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a Priest Siege. We see 3 temples coming down for the Rappel at the moment. And El Matador, he's got to be thinking, oh dear. He has to be thinking, oh dear. Because Priest Siege is brutal. Even with the 2 town centers, if you're stuck in the classical age. Priests beat the Terma, priests beat the Murmillo, priests beat the Caraballister. They lose to those Contarius that start coming out once you get to the heroic age. Now that being said, there are still ways to defend this push if your name is El Matador. And one really nice way is what he's doing. Walls coming up, spread those citizens around the map. Priest Siege is really, really slow, really, really immobile. Can't chase around the map to pick things off. As we do see Spirit of Mark coming through. This is the big technology which allows this to happen. Takes 40 seconds to train, but going to be reducing those priests down to only 70 gold. So now they're a hero unit with 100 HP and 3.3 PS damage per second, only costing 70 gold, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things. And he can then throw down that Siege Works and start making things happen. As we see Siege Works coming down relatively far forward here. And in the main base, military barracks coming up. El Matador, he's got his watchtowers, he's got his military barracks. I don't know if he has ever played against this strategy before. This is looking very, very nice for Rappel. In terms of what I've seen as a player who's tried this strat, this looks really, really nice here for the Rappel to make something work here. But just because it's nice for him doesn't mean mission accomplished. He still has to micro well. He still has to get the damage done, and he still has to convert here on this strategy. Now seeing those citizens getting converted into heroes here as the army going to be charging forward. Now the big bonus here, or positive I should say, for El Matador is he's already on his second gold mine. There's a gold mine over here, there's a gold mine over here, and he's got an attempt to come over here. As we do see obelisks coming up around the map, going to be ensuring that nothing can get snuck just at the moment. You can see there's an obelisk down the bottom, but citizens could make a break for the top of the map here if your name is El Matador, and he can try and grab that gold mine there if need be to give himself some advantages. As we now got the siege towers rolling through here. No Migdol stronghold up, so these villages are open to raids. This is another really great way to kind of play around the priest siege is, well, priests are immobile, they've got low speed. Don't engage the priests, instead run around and kill the villagers while your villagers are nice and safe. As the siege tower rolling through, and the action is about to commence here. So Scorpion Men charging forth, takes a lot of damage there, but the priests healing it back up. They go up. That HP goes up very, very fast when you have that many priests on it. 19 priests to re-heal is very nice, but look at the difference in villages. It's nearly double. It's nearly double. So Rappel is really, really hoping that this attack is going to get some serious damage done. Killing off a town center is not going to be enough. That's more than enough citizens here for El Matador. If El Matador plays this one correctly, he's going to be in a great position. We are seeing, look at that healing coming in. Those towers just not doing anything at the moment. Scorpion Men yet again getting targeted down, but the siege towers take down one tower there. Resources in the bank here for El Matador. He is spending them nicely. Villagers on the center will make it very, very challenging to take this town center down. But Ancestors Eclipse, that's coming. This is going to be a brutal timing attack here for the Rappel. The Siege Tower's targeting down that main town center. Ancestors gets dropped. Eclipse gets dropped, as well as the minions will start popping up onto this position over here. The villagers could pop out, start shanking down the Siege Towers here, almost sniping one citizen. Nice micro there from the Rappel. We've got a very low HP Siege Tower over here. He can heal that one back up if at all necessary, as the army does manage to snipe down a Scorpion Man over here. The minions on the back there getting a little bit more damage done. Citizens on the front will be getting sniped down as well. This is what's important. The town center doesn't matter. It's still a 20 citizen lead or population lead at the moment. Another citizen making a break for it there. Looks like that one might go down. The Scorpion Man ends up falling there as well, as El Matador here, he's still got a sizable army out, but the Rappel's priests are looking very, very terrifying at the moment, as the Terma are now charging forward onto these priests here. He's going to be sniping down those Murmillo first and foremost. Gets a little bit of micro to retreat away. Siege Towers need to be in front here to attempt the tank, so your opponent cannot do any focus fire micro here. Any sort of garrison micro here will be absolutely huge from Rappel, but he's not going for that one at the moment. Those Terma are sniping down those priests really, really nicely here as well, but buildings getting cleaned up as El Matador has to move up onto this position. He's got a whole bunch of those military barracks thrown down. Siege Towers still sitting in the front. You can see those Terma here. They are wasting arrows shooting into those Siege Towers from time to time here. You cannot auto attack here at all. It's all going to be focus fire micro from El Matador here. But Rappel, he's got himself 133 population. He's pushing forward. 95 population available for El Matador. He needs to get more manners down. Citizens making it a break for this top position. A couple more counter barracks are going to be getting shot up here as the Rappel charging in, going to be taking out the military barracks on this side as well. We've got the Terma getting cleaned up over here to boot, and now the Terma on this position here slowly starting to get taken down as well. Siege Tower rolling through here to start tanking. You can see that the Terma accidentally or on purpose, who knows exactly what's going on, shooting those Siege Towers there as well. Not really getting a whole bunch of damage on. 90% Pierce Armor is the reason for that, as the mana on this position, they're going down as well. The gold mine for El Matador going to be under attack soon, but look at this. We do see a cheeky little attempt from our main man El Matador to sneak a gold mine. That's going to be huge. Villagers getting pushed back. We've also got priests up on this position pushing those citizens back. Gold villagers over here. Town center now coming down for the Rappel, as he feels like it's time for him to start getting his eco on. He's still behind on the villager count here, but it's close, as Rappel has done the dash, he's done the deed, he's done the damage, and El Matador is cornered into one little nook in this map. Citizens popping out of the manor here, going to get taken down very quickly by that Scorpion Man. Great micro yet again from the Rappel. Pulls back a whole bunch of citizen going down yet again. 48 villagers to 50 right now for the Rappel, as this timing attack has gone as good as it possibly can go for the Rappel. El Matador is in trouble here, ladies and gentlemen. Two more Scorpion Men have joined the battle as well, as those Terma searching around for someone to take out. Counter barracks going to get taken out over here as well, as we see the units just running back and forth, not able to do all too much here. He's got himself 200 population, ladies and gentlemen, of Priest, of Siege Tower, of Scorpion Man. It doesn't matter how many units now that El Matador can muster up. The army is just simply not going to go down. And Rappel, he's toying with El Matador at the moment. We've got that monument to the Priest coming down. And look at this, with that one being empowered, the army here just simply cannot fall for anything. No chaos can come through. No nothing. 2,500, 600 wood in the bank. There's just not that usable here. One Siege Tower looks like it goes down there. Good micro from El Matador to stay alive here. But with the Priests here, what you want to do is you want to send them right in underneath the Siege Towers, so the villagers pop out and they're not able to dive straight onto those Siege Towers. But too little too late here for El Matador, as in the 14th minute, he does decide to tap out. An incredible display of knowledge here from the Rappel. He identifies the Terma. He identifies what El Matador's doing, and he goes, all right, pre-siege here. The question starts becoming, what happens when the Atlantean player goes for the counter-strat? And what's the counter-strat? The counter-strat is 2 town center fast heroic, where you get access to those Contarius, and they absolutely decimate the priests once you get to enough of them, right? But then Rappel can also identify that that's what's happening and go for something else. So it's not a simple game here. It's a game of rock, paper, scissors, Spock, so to speak. But first game for Rappel, really, really nice start here in this series. That's exactly how he wants to get off here. But this is only one matchup. We're going to move into another one very, very shortly. We'll see what the players are going to pick. They've got to pick their map. They've got to pick the god. We'll get it going really, really shortly. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you haven't checked out EGC TV, definitely go over and check them out as well. And we'll see you guys in the next game. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, sporting in the left side of the map in the blue color playing as Ra. His name is the Rappel. His opponent today, currently down 1-0 in this best of 5. His name is El Matador, and he is choosing to pilot Odin. Ladies and gentlemen, the map is Tundra. For those of you unaware of what this map is, this is actually an OG map. This is from the Titans, the expansion to Asian mythology Legacy. The big feature on this map is that you start with 2 hunt packs rather than a chicken in the main base. That's the big difference. That's it. Everything else is fairly stock standard. You get a lot of hunt on the map. You get a lot of gold mines, mostly forward here, but you can sometimes get lucky with a town center relatively close. Like, for example, this town center over here. It's got some pretty decent close gold. I mean, I wouldn't say it's that close, but it does have a technical back gold mine behind this position, and securing this town center with securing of this choke point will also then help to secure this gold mine for the Rappel. There is another feature. Thank you for pointing that out, Nakamura RTS. One other feature of this one is herdables only spawn in your main base. So you don't need a scout. If you're playing as Ra, you can just put that Pharaoh and put that priest on your resources. Who needs to scout? Scouting not important. Rappel doesn't agree with me though, as he is already starting to send that priest around the map here, looking for the good stuff. El Matador, on the other hand here, going to be popping the villagers forward, and he's just doing a very stock standard build order here. So let's talk a little bit about strategy, as I think this is an interesting matchup that I think a lot of players might struggle with from the Norse side of things, because it doesn't feel like this is the way you're supposed to play. But let me explain my current theory of this matchup from the Norse perspective, coming from a player who plays not predominantly Egyptian, but I do like my Egyptian, and I do like playing an Egyptian versus Norse matchup. I think that the correct way to play here for Norse is a boomy Norse. I don't want to be going one town center, trying to make raids happen, trying to put the pressure on and catch the Egyptian player out. I want the Egyptian player to be forced into taking a fight that they don't want to take, because they know that if they don't, their units are going to start falling in quality to the superior Norse units. And the way to do that is you can grab yourself a fast second town center. Easy way to get this against Ra is to throw a wall up over here and a wall up over here, and then you're in for a good show. On the other side of the map here, Rappel's plan, generally speaking, is he's playing Ra, so it's a little bit different to the other Egyptians. He's got a bit more economy to play with. So he can go for aggression tied in with teching, or he can go with a boom tied in with aggression. He can do a little bit of both because he's got those extra, the extra resources to play with. So we'll see what he's going to pick. He's gone through Ptah. Over here we do see the Freya kind of god here as well, and all of the good stuff. We do have a comment from Ragnarok. Egyptian can shifting sands onto it, but as I said, you wall, and then they can't get vision. Well, at least Ra can't get vision. So, say what you will. I'm just giving ideas. I don't know. That's my idea. And you can also drop a village center as well if you want. You can go for a 4 village center opening. Absolutely amazing. Nonetheless, great hunts going down in the main base here for the Rappel. It's looking to me like he's staying one town center. There is no two town center gameplay coming here from the Rappel. He's going to be opening up with another Wadjet, and we see double barracks coming up with that Pharaoh on the monument. Empowering a monument in Age of Mythology Retold does give you boosted barracks or boosted build speed on everything, as that Valkyrie does come through. And we do have those golden lions over here as well, getting pushed back, and all of the good stuff. Alrighty. Couple of Axemen going to be coming out. I like the Axemen. Axemen make a lot of sense against Norse because they need Hursa to deal with those Wadgets that are popping out. And if you don't have... Well, I mean, if you've got Axemen there, you can stop the Hursa. The Wadgets can kill off everything else. Is a pretty decent idea. Generally speaking, you probably want to go with high Pierce armor units to kind of combat the Wadgets. Though, from memory, these Wadgets are doing a decent amount of damage with the spit. Yeah, they do 13.3 divine damage over 5 seconds. And it stacks. That's kind of a big deal. Wadgets are kind of strong, guys. Spearmen coming through. We do see the villagers over here. And is this going to be the shifting sands here, which Rappel wants? He wants to put pressure onto his opponent at the moment. The Spearmen here getting chased down by Berserks over here. We've got the raiding cavalry Valkyrie coming in onto this position, going to be looking for something to target down. But Rappel is in on the defense over here. The villager going to dive into the watchtower there. Another Wadjet going to be coming out onto that position there as the raiding cavalry just going to be doing a bit of a drive-by. No real losses, so totally fine at the moment. As the villager's going to come over here, dropping granaries and making everything happen. Lots more houses coming up to defend on this side here for the Rappel. I'm going to sneeze, guys. It's happening. The hay fever has overtaken me. I'm sorry. We're professionals right here. We've got the... Nonetheless. Wait, it's 20 per shot, but it's 13.3 damage over time per second. What does it say? 18 plus an additional 13.3 over 5 seconds. Look, I don't even know what that means, to be honest. Well, I guess this here would be 6. Let's not try and do math on stream. I keep on trying to make that happen. It's not going to happen. Got walls coming up here. To be honest, El Matador is in a position right now that isn't too bad. He hasn't lost anything. He's getting some nice raids over here as he's popping through. Going to snipe a village. A great pick right there, but he has had to use his forest fire. Meanwhile, a little bit of revenge fire coming through from the Rappel, and now the Rappel is very much out of position here, and El Matador can collapse on this position. We've got that town center picking up a couple of units here. If he can collapse, he can take a really good fight. He's got a lot of those beautiful Berserks. The Hursa in as well. Enough Hursa to take out those Wadgets. Only 4, well, I say only, there's 4 of them, so it's a lot. So Rappel's got to micro really, really hard to make sure he takes down those Hursa first. If he misses that micro, it's going to be all over. As El Matador, he's swinging in from 3 angles at the moment, attempting to take this fight right now. We do see, imagine Forest Fire now, as the Wadgets here going to get popped in, and we see Shifting Sands comes through. Rappel escapes, and he is back into his army. I like the decision making, keeping the army alive. Population differential is in favor of El Matador for the time being. But myth unit wise, Rappel's army is looking terrifying. He doesn't have any slingers out yet. Now we're starting to see some throwing axemen coming out, which I think is really smart. The composition here, which El Matador's gone for, which is Berserk raiding cavalry, does technically get countered by Spearman axemen, so you should start mixing in some throwing axemen if your opponent isn't making any slingers. As soon as the slingers start coming through, then things get a little bit hazy about what beats what. Plus, there's also the Wadgets to account for, so you need to get those Hersa out to make sure you're dealing with that. But we're not actually seeing El Matador do that, which I think is going to be a little bit of a challenging situation for him to be in. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry are going to be sniping units over here. Another Wadget getting caught out. Nice little picks here for El Matador, playing very, very scrappy at the moment. He's got the speed advantage. He's using it really, really nicely. As El Matador retreating back. He's got to be really careful. He's now out of gold, moving up onto this position. We see this is already walled off. I like that. Spearman is coming through to check things out on that side, as the raiding cavalry are just denying the units from moving forward for the time being. Great garrison micro there from the Rappel, but the Wadget over here will get chased down. He's going to be able to get that surround there. Snipes that one down. Meanwhile, over onto this position, though, this could be very, very dangerous for El Matador. He's got to get gold somehow, but he needs to bring his army back at the moment. He's sniping down villagers over here. That's big, but his own villagers getting taken down is somewhat bigger here. As, I mean, he could run up onto here with his units, but he's still got to somehow deal with those Wadgets. There's 5 there. He's only got 4. He's now got 5 Hersa, so that's going to be a big help. He does manage to get out with the Dwarves, as the raiding cavalry are going to start retreating back home here. And we'll see if El Matador can take the fight that he so desperately needs. One idea here would be to sneak 3 Hersa around the back with the raiding cavalry to kind of counter and hit the Wadgets, while also having 3 Hersa on the front to engage and get a sandwich onto Rappel's army here, such that he can't really micro around those Wadgets without taking a whole bunch of damage from Hersa. Meanwhile, over on this position, we do see Gatherers. They are on the gold mine, and Rappel, he knows about it. He sees this with the obelisk. You can't get away with this sort of thing when your opponent is spreading those obelisks so obscenely well. The villagers retreating up to the top side here, as El Matador might need to take a fight here. But here's the thing. Even if El Matador loses these villagers here, gold is about to expire for the Rappel. This is dangerous for the Rappel at the moment, and I think El Matador should be somewhat aware of it. He's still sniping units down over here with those raiding cavalry. The army coming up onto this position. Dwarves can now sneak into the center of the map. They can sneak over onto this gold mine. They can do whatever they want. Rappel here, he's moving up into the corner. He's got to know that he's in a bit of a difficult position, but he has the edge of the world here. He's got that flat earth to kind of use as a defensive resource to some degree, and you can see he's attempting to make that happen. Berserks crashing through. We see the spearmen onto the raiding cavalry over here. The Berserks over here getting targeted down by those axemen. This fight is going as well as it possibly can for the Rappel, but the Hersa managed to get onto the back of those Wadgets there. 2 Wadgets already down, but the Hersa immediately getting deleted by the Rappel. But all of the Wadgets have fallen as more units are coming in. The population of the Rappel is still relatively strong. More units are coming through, and it looks as if El Matador's army has been erased from the map. The fight too well controlled by the Rappel there, as El Matador falls flat in this game. He's now in the center of the map on that goal. He's in the bottom of the map on the other gold mine. He's only 20 population behind right now, so it's not going to be easy for Rappel to actually push through him, but he needs to get more units out. He needs to get those raids in, and he needs to get some good pressure on. The villager differential is significant here, but the Rappel hasn't actually used rain yet, so he can get those farms going down. He can get that rain happening. He can get a huge amount of food to come through very, very quickly. He's got the farms set up, but where are his villages is the big question. As the army going to be retreating back, we now see that very, very strong technology. Electron bullets are going to be coming in for the Rappel, wanting to start making some slingers. He sees those throwing axemen, needs the slingers to come in with that electron bullets to make it happen. As the Berserk's going to get taken out, units retreating back up onto this position, and now the raiding cavalry going to be sneaking in over here to take out villagers. Going to be able to snipe them down fairly nicely. Good micro from Rappel brings those spearmen back over here, as the raiding cavalry are going to be moving back, trying to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, on this position, grabbing those Aurochs in the middle of the map here, and it looks to me like Rappel is somewhat aware of this. He's very aware of this. Those obelisks are all up on that spot, going to be taking out some more villagers, but Not before Rappel loses a couple over here as well, as he's got to retreat away from this one. El Matador is, both players, in all honesty, taking a lot of villager losses in this game, as El Matador, somehow, some way, he's still in this game. He's still only 13 population behind. That's not a significant population lead in the slightest here for the Rappel. El Matador pulling back into his main base. Villagers getting taken down by those Wadgets. Nice chase down here, but the villagers have to pull all the way back in. Dwarves and villagers can now move up onto this gold mine yet again, as we're seeing some throw-in axemen over here. I mean, it's one good fight, and either of these players can win this game in this instant. The raids being consistent here from El Matador, really, really nice. But Rappel here defending these in advance with those spearmen and the Wadget. This is going to be a nice little help here, and Rappel or El Matador can't take that one there. He's going to be retreating back, as now Rappel going to encircle up to the top side of the map. We do see just the one villager over here. Villagers can move up onto that hunt there as well. There's a lot of units here as well. And as those raiding cavalry are searching for units or villagers over here, he can kind of defend over here. He's only got himself the one Hearser out, and there's not really that many axemen remaining. So now those Hearser can kill off those Wadgets really, really simply if need be. As the raiding cavalry is still searching around for things to kill, there's some very open villages over here. But the scouting from El Matador, honestly, not the best. I don't know where his ravens are, but they aren't giving him any value here, as it seems like Rappel has hunted them down fairly nicely at the moment. Nice little snipe there onto the slinger. Every little bit of damage matters here from El Matador, and these raiding cavalry doing it nicely. We do see some walls coming up. Walls very, very important here to delay those sorts of raids. I really like that one from Rappel, getting those set up nicely there as the units here for the Rappel. He's got to start thinking about getting some pressure on, because this population is getting up. He's hit 175 population. So too will El Matador hit that 175 population as the army charges forward. No hero units in, but we do see the Wadget on this side getting caught out over here, as El Matador has to retreat back. Those throwing axemen here are going to start taking some good damage. Good micro there from El Matador. He's got to run. He's got to move those throwing axemen though, otherwise they're going to all melt before he gets that damage done. He's running too close to the slingers, so he's not going to be able to dodge any of those slinger shots there. Still trying to get that Age of Empires 2 micro happening, but it's just not in for the time being. The spearmen all getting cleaned up though. You can see the population is dropping for both players in a really, really big way. Wadget's going down over here. Hearser is in to take out those Wadgets in the middle as well. No axemen remaining. Raiding cavalry are plenty here, as all of the slingers will be getting cleaned up, and now Rappel has to retreat away. El Matador has turned this game on its head here, ladies and gentlemen. As he hits that full population, takes a great fight there. He's got himself enough favor for another forest fire if he really wants to. The Wadget's going to be coming through. El Matador wants to continue the pressure, but a whole bunch of units are sitting in the back of this army over here, not really engaging. And Rappel will be able to hold on for the time being. El Matador needs to not get ahead of himself. Winning one fight is not the be-all and end-all. Look at those low HP units. Get some Valkyries out. Get yourself an advantage going. There's still walls to break down over here. We've also got a handful of villages on that gold mine that he can raid, and we'll see if he can convert right now with the advantage he's managed to get, as it's a tough thing being behind in population. A villager difference being equal is also difficult. Rappel's used his one rain. He can rain again, but that means he's not going to be able to get any more Wadgets out, as the raiding cavalry are going to be charging through here. Rappel not paying attention onto this one. The raiding cavalry try to get in onto the back. They managed to catch out 3 villagers there as well. A couple more villagers moving forward, going to get sniped down as the villagers on this gold mine have retreated away for the time being. Lots of big damage coming in onto the Rappel's economy for the time being. Over here, another villager going to be getting cleaned up to boot. The town center going to be holding on for the time being here. Meanwhile, over onto this position, those spearmen charging through to take out the dwarves. A great counter raid coming through here by the Rappel, but El Matador has got that wall up, and he can simply retreat away without too many losses here, as the raiding cavalry, they need to find gold right here, right now. We see a cheeky little mining camp attempting to come up onto that position. Not going to be able to do so. The building's starting to come down onto the front of the map here for El Matador in this main base here. We see a little bit of a dive, but too many spearmen there as the army for the Rappel is starting to get close to that 175 population again. The difference here is all of the Rappel's units basically are going to be nearly full HP. Now, El Matador does have that passive regen for Odin, which will be a little bit of an assistance, but whether or not he wants to use it remains to be seen. I honestly think this could be a second forest fire situation here for El Matador. As much as everybody likes to say forest fire is not that good, if you get a good forest fire off, it's the difference between killing an entire army and not. As the spearmen charging forward, those throwing axemen need to get some shoot and scoot micro going on. As Rappel here, he has taken a great start to this fight, but Berserks are in, and they're going to be tanking up those spearmen in a really big way. Population dropping drastically here for the Rappel as El Matador's economy and his population is standing very, very true throughout this one. On the back here, the Wadjet going to be going down to boot here, throwing axemen, taking down those spearmen in a great way, and it looks to me like El Matador is going to be coming away with this second game as the Rappel does decide to tap out. Unable to take out that Norse army in this game. El Matador controls this one from the start. He has a bit of a slip up the top of this map. Gave the Rappel the keys to the kingdom here, but with some smart villager micro and economic decision making as to which gold mines he was going to be sending his villagers to, he was able to delay enough that he could get his army numbers in a position that he could actually defend in this game. That was some incredibly good Norse play. And that's just what, let's be completely honest, Genesis main event S tier, this is the type of level you've got to be expecting coming into this tournament right now. El Matador, what a game. He's got to be happy about leveling this game 1-1. Let's check that post game out. It'll tell the story in a big way. Look at this. Villager resource value here. You can see El Matador, he had the advantage, but the Rappel's positioning in that fight, Rappel had the advantage here, and that's why not only the positioning was so good for the Rappel, but he also had that advantage in that fight, and that's why we see El Matador dropping so hard here. But over here, you can actually see the reason why El Matador wins these fights. He's just got more stuff. Military units wise, he's just got more stuff. Like same amount of military units over here, same amount, but his army is just a little bit better than the Rappel's. Economically speaking as well, you can see for the entirety of the game, even with that rain coming through for the Rappel, he's just not able to compete, economically speaking, against the Odin bonus of that hunt coming in. That's the game. We'll move on to game number 3 really, really shortly. Hope you guys are enjoying. If you haven't followed and you're not watching EGC TV, I do encourage you to go over there and check them out. We'll get that second game or third game going very, very shortly. Game number 3. Some of the highest level of Age of Mythology we have seen to date has already occurred. And this is just the third game that I've viewed of the Genesis main event here, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are playing out of their mind thus far. Super high level of understanding here in the bottom of the map, playing as Loki. His name is the Rappel. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is El Matador. And I'm already excited about this. I got a big grin on my face. You want to know why? Red Bull qualifiers. Recon versus Rappel. Rappel played this matchup, but flipped. Rappel played this matchup, but flipped. And he won. He won this matchup, Poseidon versus Loki, against Recon's Loki. But now Rappel is Loki. A totally different story is about to be written here. And we'll have to wait and see if Rappel has the answers from both sides of this matchup. Or if El Matador is maybe going to throw something a little bit of a curveball at the Rappel. Now, strategically speaking here, this matchup for the Poseidon player, honestly, you've got to play it very different to normal. If you just go for Hippias, that's exactly what the Loki player wants. They're going to be able to deal with that very, very simply just by playing a very, very normal Norse game. And the Poseidon player is going to get very, very frustrated. But as soon as you start going into hoplites and things like teching, when the Loki player can't really get anything going with their units because of walls, towers, and those hoplites being out, then the Loki player starts having to ask themselves questions about, well, what's the best play here? Now, it might be the case that if the Loki player knows what's going on, scouts it out, reacts accordingly, there's nothing that the Poseidon player can do if they go for that angle. I don't really know. All I've seen is that it has worked out for the Poseidon player if they go down that route. And I've also seen Poseidon players struggling going with Hippias. So there's lots of different options here for the Poseidon player to really go for. Whether one works, whether one doesn't, we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what El Matador's approach is going to be, but I'm even more excited to see what the Rapple is going to come up with here in this matchup, just because he is a Norseman at heart. He can play every god, but he is a Norseman at heart. And what does that mean? Well, it just means that he knows this Civ so in depth. So he's going to be able to play the eco game. He's going to be able to play the aggressive game. He's going to be able to play the timing game. He knows all of the different styles. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He knows all the matchups. At the very least, he's got that experience, that wealth of experience from how many games he played on Legacy with Norse to have a good game of it. But the map is Ghost Lake. We are seeing people go into the next age, as we've got that Forseti on here, as well as the Hermes coming through as well. Gold mines over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a decent amount of large gold mines on this Ghost Lake. Sometimes you can get as little as 2 large gold mines, which honestly, not that many, but this one, 4 large gold mines here. So there's not going to be any need to rush for a market and starting a trade route on this map, but gold mines are still relatively far away. This map can finish very, very quickly, as we do see a cheeky little lure coming down. El Matador, a man after my heart. This is exactly how I say you should open with Poseidon. Instead of dropping the lure straight away, you drop it in the classical age. You get yourself an extra 1,000 food getting attracted and 4 chickens if you drop it in the classical age. If you hold it for the heroic age, you actually get 1,500 food plus 6 chickens. So it's a sizable amount more to hold onto it, but obviously not really something you're going to be wanting to do most of the time. Classical age, more than enough, saves you that granary, gets you going, and you're going to be into a good spot. Can it attract food that doesn't exist on the map anymore? No, it can't. Which is partly why dropping it in the classical age is a better idea. Because nobody actually eats that food, or you can't eat all the food in the map by 4 minutes into the game. You probably could go for a fast heroic and then drop it in the heroic age. That's maybe not a terrible idea in all honesty, if you go for a fast heroic, because there will be still food left. Nonetheless, Atalanta coming through, sniping down the troll incredibly quickly over here. We do see the rain of arrows coming onto those chickens. Not going to get any villager kills just yet. The healing spring is in, which is going to be more than enough to keep those villagers alive. And at least it should do. Yeah, they're back up to full HP, as the Hippias are now starting to come in, and El Matador, he's opted in to go in for those Hippias. This is going to be what Rapple wants to face, but he will be getting a lot of pressure onto him. He is setting up some walls over here to make sure this gold mine's nice and safe. So if he does get pushed off this, or he mines that gold mine out in a quick way, that's going to be a good idea there. As the house coming up over here. One other thing that Rapple could consider here is overdoing it on dwarves, dropping a market and then buying some food here if necessary. Just a quick shout out to all the guys subscribing. I'll give you guys a shout out after the cast is over. We're just going to focus on the games here, trying to make it as awesome as it possibly can be. All right, back of the map here for Rapple. He's also got Hunt. So this is a really, really nice situation for Rapple to be in. Great haul coming up. I want to see a wall getting thrown down over here by the Rapple at some point. We do see Hall of Thanes coming through, as well as Eyes in the Forest. This is that tech which gives a huge advantage, an absolutely huge advantage, line of sight-wise, to the Loki player on the map. If you can send houses all around, you can see one already on the map there for the Rapple. One villager does end up going down there, as the Hippias are going to be charging around here, searching for something to take out. He does know that there's Hunt on the back. We see a cheeky little house getting dropped down for the time being, as the Hippias getting chased in. Take a little bit of damage. We do see an attempt at Ghost. You can't block with goats. The units just push them apart. That was kind of cute by the Rapple there. I'm not gonna lie. As the Hursa going to be pulling back. He's got a lot of these bad boys. He's got, if you're just going to go for Hippias, I'm just going to go for Hursa. And he's not wrong about this. The only problem with Rappel's plan for the time being is that his Hursa only move at 5.2 speed. Whereas the Hippias move at 5.9 speed. If you look at the difference in terms of stats, 143 HP, 20% hack, 150 HP, 10% hack. Actually, we can take a look here, right? If I click here. So you can actually see 167 effective HP versus 162 effective HP. So the Hippias has only got a little bit more, does a little bit more damage as well, but the Hursa spawn those myth unit, the myth unit. So it's worth it to be doing these sorts of things. As the Hursa taking a look into the main base, there are already watchtowers up. Rappel wants a villager kill. He is searching for something to take out over here, pushing in to take down one of those Hippias. Nice little bit of damage there, but the town center is getting a huge amount of damage done onto the Hursa of the Rappel. He's about to lose one to the town center for the time being, still chasing those Hippias around. Gets a couple of whacks onto the villagers. They're going to be losing the Hippias as well, and now he's going to have to retreat out. 2 Hippias for 1 Hursa. That's a good trade. Plus gets favor in. Plus causes a little bit of idle time. But the army of El Matador is on the hunt right now. Is on the hunt. Rappel sees them though. He's got map hacks. Oop, never mind. He doesn't actually see them. I thought he might have. He doesn't see them at all. Nonetheless, Hursa retreating back, does decide to turn around. This Hursa, very low HP, can charge after the Centaur over here, but in the end, I'm pretty sure all Rappel wants to do is get back home. He's got a whole bunch of reinforcements to come in right now, and El Matador makes the correct decision here to just retreat back away from that. He doesn't want to take a fight that he's going to lose because he knows that Rappel can just retreat back to his base and get himself all of those Hursa back up to full HP. As we do see, cheeky little Einherry spawn. Not the one that Rappel wanted, but the one that he got. When you're killing off hunt animals or you're fighting or raiding villages, generally speaking, you want that Valkyrie, or if you're wanting it for an actual fight for later, maybe a troll. Einherry makes everything very, very slow, as we do see those Centaur charging through. But Rappel is already in position to defend. He's not able to catch up to those Centaurs. He's just not fast enough. 5.2 speed. The only reason I say only 5.2 speed is because the Hursa used to have more. As we see Bragi coming through now for the Rappel. Interesting to see the Bragi as the option over Njord. A lot of people have been telling me how good Njord is, but I'm yet to see a Loki player actually go for it. If you do it, you actually unlock the potential for Jotun plus Granite Blood Mountain Giants for the late game, which is basically any time in Age of Mythology you can combine 2 minor gods to create something really strong. It's generally really strong. As the villagers retreat back, nice little bit of harassment there from El Matador. Doesn't get anything for it. Probably could have actually killed a villager there if he didn't use the special ability. Nonetheless, the Centaur going to be retreating back for the time being here. As some Hippias will start charging forward. We do have the Hursa coming in for Rappel, looking to engage, not really ready to take the fight. And here's where the challenge starts for the Rappel. He's been going pure Hursa for a long time. El Matador is now going to start making a pacifist. Double military academies down. On the back here, we see the units coming in. We've got the Aurochs going up onto this position. He's also got some hunt over here. I wouldn't mind seeing like a wall get thrown up over here and over here to secure this hunt in advance. As the Centaur do manage to snipe one villager here, the Hursa are going to be charging through. But this is where things get kind of challenging for Rappel, because those pacifists are in, and he has to start thinking about what next. He's still just building Hursa for the time being. Charging, going to be popping out a whole bunch of those Hippias. Rappel does see that, well, units are still coming through. There's still a lot of gold remaining as Rappel is charging into the main base. Can't get that aggressive, it seems, as the Einherry over here going to get charged down. Now, if Rappel micros this, which he does manage to... Oh, he doesn't do it. If you got that horn off, those Hursa would get enough speed to actually chase down those Centaur there, but he doesn't go for it in that moment. There's another house going down. Does give a couple of militia over to El Matador there. As the stable's coming down for El Matador to boot.
Teleport.
But there's so many battle balls here. I mean, this is the thing. When flaming... Can you click flaming weapons when there's a ceasefire? I mean, you kind of can. But realistically, the best option when your opponent clicks flaming weapons is just to run away. And then click ceasefire maybe like 15 seconds after flaming weapon starts. And then there's just 15 seconds left of it after that. And you can just sit in your main base and be fine. As the Hursa do manage to snipe down a Centaur over here. As the militia going to get cleaned up on that position. So unit's going to be retreating back ever so slightly here. But realistically, those Hypaspists here that El Matador are mustering up, Rappel isn't making any effort into countering these. He's not making any raiding cavalry. He's not making any throwing axemen. Just those Hursa. And this is something that has worked in the past, but will it work now is the big question. It's 160 population versus 160 population. Both players have got exactly the same military resource value. But there's going to be a whole bunch of myth units spawning when a big fight occurs. How are the armory upgrades looking is the big question. Decent versus a little slight advantage at the moment for the Rappel. The slightest of advantages on the armory at the moment. That might be the difference between winning and losing a fight, in all honesty, at this position in the game. Is to see the enemy line almost going down. An Ida respawn is going to be fairly big help for a big fight when it actually ends up happening. El Matador here is still poking, prodding, but that Hippolyta is out. Trying to snipe down those Mythius. There's just so many of them. We've got the Atalanta there going to be taking out those as well. The problem here is that, well, El Matador is out of gold. He's got that gold mine on the front. Units are now charging forward. Rappel's got to be careful with these fights here. The battle ball is going to be getting some good damage done. And there's the ceasefire. Rappel clicks it, but the ceasefire is immediate. And now Rappel's just going to sit here and wait. He's got himself 20 seconds of flaming weapons roughly at the end of this to take out this army of El Matador. But El Matador, he can kind of garrison to the town center. No, he doesn't really have enough. He can kind of... Yeah, I don't know if he can garrison. He's going to have to fight to some degree. The question is, will he be able to make it happen or not? He doesn't have himself the upgrade. Unit's just simply going to be retreating back for the time being. Inery getting that boost of speed in. And Rappel has got to be really careful with these fights. He gets another Inery spawn, blowing that horn again, chasing forward. The Hypaspis turning around onto the fight here. The battle ball going to be getting left here. Rappel still trying to micro this one to ensure he's taking the best fight possible. Another battle ball here. He's sitting at a full 175 population as he's just going to be leaving those myth units to take the fight, retreating back out for the time being as the villagers, they've stuck over onto this gold mine. Rappel can get over there and take that fight if he really wants to. He can off a couple more units, still taking great fights for the time being here, but still lots of low HP units for both players. More battle balls are coming through. The Draugot's going to get left behind, gets a little bit of damage off onto that one. Can he snipe down the Atalanta here is the big question, as it looks like he does manage to do so. A troll spawn, not going to be the most helpful, but if he can hit one with the boulder there, he does manage to get a big amount of damage off with that special ability. Units still charging forward here as Rappel retreating back. He still hasn't made a single raiding cavalry. I can't believe how well this is working for the Rappel. Another battle ball spawn on this. Another Inery spawn here as the units of El Matador are just crumbling under the might of Rappel's Hursa army here, as those Hypaspists are just not cutting it in this one at all. And in that moment, El Matador taps out. He's out of units. He's out of hope in this game. What an insane game. That's the first time I think I've ever seen Hursa working, mass Hursa working in Retold. And Rappel shows it in a $15,000 main event year. I don't even know what to say. How many myth unit spawns do you want? Rappel says yes. Give me them. And why is this possible? Well, Matador, I don't know if he was still building Hippias towards the end, but if it just maybe cut on the Hippias once it clicked up to the heroic age and just made a pacifist, sure, then he's now able to push Rappel off of those Hersa potentially. I don't know. But that's just so many myth units. And also Rappel's micro, if you'll notice, what he was doing is he would rush those Hersa in, and then once the army starts fighting, he pulls them back, and then the pacifist, naturally, they don't chase in that situation. They're attack moving. So they charge onto the closest unit possible, and they automatically start targeting down those myth units. So you've got to be refocusing them during the fight to ensure they're taking out Hersa over taking out myth units there. Really, really nice game from the Rappel, taking this one up to 2-1. One game away from promoting here or into the next round. Look at that military. It's just so equal, yet it's just not. Look at the resource difference as well. You can see, well, El Matador's in front, but guess what? He's not in front. Even if he's in front, he's not in front because Loki's got that hidden economic boost of those myth unit spawns. And that's really the story here. It's just myth unit spawn after myth unit spawn after myth unit spawn. 9 battle boards, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to check out EGC TV's coverage of this event as well. We'll move on to game number 4 very shortly. Game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Both players going onto the same sides of the map here on the map Kurlauga. We had a little bit of a fish problem in game number 1. Or not game number 1, in this game. But it's been resolved, I think. And we're off to the races here. We are absolutely off to the races. We've got Rappel playing his Hades. We've got El Matador playing his Zeus. Rappel is on game point. Win this game, on to the next round. Lose this game, you still have another chance. So El Matador's got to feel somewhat comfortable with that knowledge in the back of his mind. But, and there is a big but, I think. Hang on, let me just double check this before I make a big fool of myself. I just want to double check this so I don't make a big fool of myself. Yes. If you do indeed lose this first series, the loser game, for the first loser game, is only best of 3. It's not best of 5. What does that actually mean? Well, it just means that it's going to be a challenge for you to be able to beat that player. Much more of a challenge depending on how good you actually are or how deep your god pools go. That's what that means. So we'll see. Well, obviously that you don't want to lose no matter what, but there's that needs to be somewhat in the back of your mind. Winning this first series is really, really important because it means you're only going to play best of 5s up until the finals. And that's what everyone is really prepared for, in all honesty. The best of 3s are kind of an afterthought because all of these players are just expecting to get to the best of 5s. There we go. I fixed the players up. We do have our main man Rappel at the top of the map and our main man El Matador at the bottom of the map. We had our things the wrong way around. I've got it fixed. Don't worry, guys. Professional streamer, commentator, caster, Age of Mythology enthusiast. I don't know if you can be a professional Age of Mythology enthusiast, but that's what I am. You can't change the colors, unfortunately, but it is what it is. All right, we got a head of Orpheus over here for our dude Reno. Give it a little bit of line of sight. Again, I say this quite a bit, but for some reason on water maps, we never see the relics getting picked up. Minus 5% of hack there. Over here, we've got ourselves a plus 5 on the range damage. So some pretty decent relics on the map. As the scout just going to be poking its head in. And the question is, ooh. Ooh. There's a spicy pre-queue. Now, obviously this technology here, let's talk about it. There's been a few builds going around recently with Vaults of Erebus on land maps. And it seems like a lot of players have kind of worked out what their preferred method of getting this technology out is. But on a water map, I haven't seen a whole lot of build order innovation, to be honest. And here's the thing, like, if you're only going to go for 6 fishing ships, 200 wood, that's equal to 4 fishing ships. 4 fishing ships is equal to 2 food. So you can get out more fishing ships than, or sorry, 2 food a second, I should say. Let me finish that statement, which is the same as 2 gold a second that comes from that Vault of Erebus. So getting this technology out before you have your fish out, remains to be seen if I actually think that it's good or not from a mechanics, or from an economic standpoint, from like an income standpoint. But we are seeing it coming through nonetheless, or wanting to come through nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we got that hand axe, pickaxe coming in. Did we see that coming through for Rappel? No. No hand axe, no pickaxe. A very, very different opening here, but both players going through Athena. Docks coming up all over the place. The docks over here as well. Do we see any military buildings coming down? Any ships coming through for the Rappel? No, just getting that Achilles out. I'm going to be putting some pressure on as well. Yeah, 15 favor is a lot. So 200 wood for 4 fishing ships, 200 wood for the Vaults of Erebus. 15 favor is probably about 3 more fishing ships. So you can probably get up to 3.5 food a second more if you've got those fishing spots, or you can get up a dock plus 4 fishing ships as well. So there's a lot of stuff. Anyways, enough discussion about technologies, as we do see a military academy coming down straight away. In the main base here for the Rappel, it looks like he's going for a town center. It looks like he's going for a town center, and it looks like he's going for the center town center. He can get caught out here. Bolt is available for El Matador. A bolt onto Achilles with a whole bunch of hoplites pushing through. That could be huge, but there doesn't seem to be the time here for El Matador to do anything. And El Matador, he's going for archer ships. He's going for pressure. And here's the thing. On a map like Kurlauga, is there any point to this? Because your opponent can defend against these triremes without even needing his own boats. He can raid your fishing ships without even needing his own boats. Now, he can build them, but he doesn't need to. The town center is going to be finishing up. There's not really a whole lot of stuff around this. Nice gold mine there, but there's not really a whole lot of stuff around this town center, so it is a little bit risky here, in all honesty, or a little bit lackluster is probably the better comment there, to grab that center town center. We'll see how it's going to go for the Rappel. Meanwhile, Minotaur coming through, going to be starting to target down the dock over here. He could go straight up to the fishing ship if he wants to, as the fishing ship's going to be diving through. And the units here for the Rappel going to be charging in an attempt to take this out. Do you bolt the Achilles? Do you bolt the Minotaur? What do you do? He's going to be bolting that Achilles there as he gets torched into the ground. Ajax comes over onto this position, but the double trireme is going to be a little bit too much. Now, when you take a look at the arrows here, these archer ships, they do a lot of damage. They're doing 16 PS per second, but 3 of those arrows do not hit. All 3 of the arrows don't hit. Only 1 consistently hits. The other 2 are consistently missing. So the arrow ships are actually quite good when shooting into a ball of units, but apart from that, not going to be the most useful there, as Rappel keeps poking in and attempting to defend over there. But in all honesty, I don't think he needs to mind. He can come over here and grab this hunt and start producing some units out himself, and he should be fine. Just retreat the fishing ships back up into this dock, and he should be okay, as we do see the trireme still taking some good fights over here with the help of the Jason, retreating back underneath that sentinel, trying to make that happen. But El Matador still 1 town center. Villager lead is now starting to go into the onto the side of the Rappel. He's got that Vaults of Erebus technology as well, so he does have that advantage going for him. But economically speaking, no hand axe, no pickaxe is going to be a little bit of an advantage back over to El Matador. So both players have got their own advantages cooking up at the moment. El Matador actually with lots and lots of wood and gold in the bank for the time being. As the Minotaur gets taken down, the Achilles and Ajax getting sent packing. A couple of units charging forward to try and get involved in this fight here. And it does look like now Rappel has got the stronger army to take this fight. Chasing those units back here for the time being. We just had trireme getting taken out there. As the dock going to be getting repaired back up. Unit's going to be charging forward in an attempt to take this fight here. Ajax going after the Minotaur on the back here. Does manage to get a lot of damage done. The trireme plus the Juggernaut going to be getting some good damage done too, but it does look like the Minotaur is down. Toxote are going to be targeting down those hoplites to boot here. Those archer ship Juggernauts, not that useful here, though they do beat the Toxotes pretty well. As that trireme will not be staying alive, well, will be staying alive here as Rappel has to retreat back. Rappel, his score, he's a little bit behind here. Obviously, he's going to be behind because El Matador has not spent the resources on that town center and has been getting some good damage done. But I think in terms of actual resources gained, maybe, just maybe El Matador is with the advantage here for the time being. But he's going to be, that's going to be changing relatively soon, as we do see nice snipe there onto that trireme by the Toxotes there on the back. This villager here will go down. Nice marker there from Rappel. Just going to pull back and then go back onto the dock to repair it back up. And El Matador going to have to retreat back. Let's take a quick look at El Matador's perspective here. He does know the town center's up. He knows that there is somewhat of a timer here, but Apollo coming in. And what does Apollo mean? Well, it means he gets Manticore. We see an armory coming down. But it also means he gets a Skylar. The problem is his first dock is over here. And I don't think he's going to want that Skylar on this bottom. Now, I don't know if he went dock, and then dock over here, or which one it is. But if he could choose, he could just delete that first dock he built, and it might, and it'll come out on the second dock you built, and then start charging across the map. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is there, but yeah, El Matador's got a plan right now. He sees the Toxotes ball here from the Rappel, and he wants to make those Peltast out, is my guess for the moment. A couple of military academies actually coming through. I guess a different option is to just go for Manticore. He's got 4 villages on favor. Manticore are going to be a great option here. Gets himself out of Pegasus as well. Ready to start scouting around. He does have that underworld, so he can hit this gold mine up here if he needs to. Rappel's already on this center gold mine as well. He's mining out that home gold mine there, so that is a little bit of a weakness for him that he's creating. So that gold mine will expire at some point there. Probably about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes left on that one before he has to start fighting for something here. But the Rappel, he's also gone to the next stage. He's going to have Aphrodite, so that's a pretty big advantage there for Rappel. And beyond that, we can see little bits of raids coming onto this water, and the Skylar is now out for Rappel. He's ready to start charging forward. Taking out a fishing ship over here, going to be taking down another one on this position as well. And it does look like El Matador, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or not, but he hasn't been training villagers. Now there is some method to the not training villager madness. The method is, my opponent has got more population than me. I'm trying to justify this, but I think it's a mistake. The method is, my opponent has got more population than me. He's got 2 town centers, so I'm not going to build economy. I'm just going to get nothing but military units out. And I'm going to get to my full population, and then my full population military will be more than my opponent's, which should be able to get me a gold staff. That's kind of the only thought process I can come up with to justify what El Matador's doing at the moment. And now the chat feels so much better about themselves when they say, I forgot the villagers. Underworld coming in. Hoplites charging forward. 1 down. Curse going to be getting dropped down as well. You just look at all the hoplites queued up. Build some more barracks, my dude. More barracks. There's only 2. You've got... Oh, there's 1,000 resources queued up here. Maybe more. More than 1,000 resources queued up in 2 buildings. And he's got 1,000 resources in the bank as well. El Matador is feeling the pain right now. Restoration getting dropped down by the Rappel. A little bit overzealous there from Rappel. I'm not sure he really needed to do that. His army's coming back now. He's picked up all those fishing ships. We've got a whole bunch of Habaspis out for the Rappel now to take out those hoplites. But he does have a lot of stuff coming through. The problem is the population is just so much in favor of the Rappel. The military population as well is in favor of the Rappel. Those Manticore retreating back here. We do have a Chiron coming through as well, as that's going to be able to take down the Manticore on the back, as the units are going to be charging around onto the side there. One Manticore going to be getting cleaned up. The other one on this position here, will that get taken out as well? Yes, he does manage to clean that one up. He does manage to take a fight here with the Skylar. That could be huge. As Rappel is just charging down onto the back of that Manticore here. Restoration getting dropped down by El Matador after all is said and done. That will help that Skylar get a lot of heads here, but it does look like Rappel doesn't need to take a fight at the moment. He can just retreat back. Pulls out away from the Skylar. Nice positioning now for Rappel. Good retreat there from El Matador to pull back into the Skylar, but it's just not going to be enough. And El Matador, he's still not started villages. You can't tell me right now that this isn't on purpose. Underworld passage going down. And Rappel is just going to get further and further and further and further and further ahead. El Matador, I don't know what else he can do. Nice raid down to the bottom, and this is going to hurt El Matador even more. Hoplites picking off tons of villages. El Matador not paying attention. And now he's... Okay, so I think we can 100% say right now, with 100% certainty, El Matador has simply just forgot villages as he's going for a second town center, of which he will start building villages from automatically. 19 villages to 71. 19. Let me say it one more time. 19 villages. But he does have more military units. Oh, the villages are started now. He does have a lot of fishing ships. Yes, that's true. That is big. This Skylar is actually going to get some mad value here. A little bit of a retreat here from the Rappel. Just trying to keep it... Oh, never mind. He didn't get any value. Look at the military difference, though. El Matador does have a military advantage at the moment, but he's... will he be able to make this work? Who knows? Hoplites charging in onto those Toxite on the back. And El Matador is winning this fight, guys. It could work. The gold situation for the Rappel. How much gold does he have left over here? 2,700 gold. It's only a differential of 57 villages. 60 villages? Nearly 60 villages. It's not that. It's not. I want to justify it so badly. I just don't. I just can't. I just can't justify it. Oh, dear. The army charging through, and Rappel's going to be like, what? How does he have so many units? He's got to be thinking that at this moment. Docks going down. That's going to take out a little bit of food economy here for the Rappel, but Rappel's already gone through Hephaestus. As if he doesn't already have enough of an economic lead, he's going through Hephaestus right now. He could go through Artemis. He could have earthquaked something. So we see some docks coming down over here. El Matador can grab some fishing ships. Oh! And El Matador starts the village production. But he's at full population. So he hits full population first and then starts the villager production. I actually kind of reckon he did it on purpose. What do you guys reckon? Hoplite's going to be charging it. Take down the town so you can prevent Hephaestus. Tower going to be going down. El Matador not thinking about how... This is the advantage of playing with Hoplites. They do 1.5x versus buildings. That's not a small amount of damage at all. You would clean it incredibly quickly. But Heroic Age, Mythic Age, excuse me, is now in. Champion Infantry. Champion Archers pre-queued right now for the Rappel. Marker coming down on this side as well. Buildings getting cleaned up over here. Towers going down. Manticore going after some fishing ships over here. But the heroes are charging after the myth units. The Pacifists are in to take a nice fight over here. That champion infantry will take some time to come through. The Toxotes in the back with Burning Pitch. Doesn't help them in the fight, but makes them look terrifying. As El Matador's population is plummeting. And he taps out. Rappel claims the game, claims the series. and gets the move on. El Matador will have to battle through the losers bracket. Oh no, the sneezing. I didn't catch it that time. El Matador will have to battle through the losers bracket here to stay alive in this tournament. Statistics here, timeline. This is the story of no villagers from El Matador. Equal, in fact, on civilian unit count. Into being not quite so equal. And that results in a very lopsided amount of resources going the wayside of the Rappel. I wanted it to work. There are strategies which involve around cutting villages. That they exist. It is not a universal fact that training villages consistently is the best thing to do 100% of the time. It's basically a fact. It's like 99% of the time, but there are those 1% of games, and I call on the past legacy of Age of Mythology, the Titans, of, say, for example, a Urano strategy where there was a 9-citizen Urano strategy all in against Norse players, which is really, really strong. Nonetheless, the Rappel gets the win, gets to move on. Hope you guys enjoying the series. If you are, don't forget to hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any Age of Mythology tournaments. Also, EGC TV as well. If you're not checking them out while we're going along here, you are missing out. So definitely check them out as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still in the first round, but we have a completely new series in the bottom of the map. Playing as Hades. From the Fox Clan, the professional esports organization. His name is Super FM. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Gaia. His name is Tiger Boss. The map, Midgard. For those of you wanting to play at home, Midgard is a map that does contain fish. It is a water map, but the fish is all around the outsides of the map. And oftentimes this map, water is not the focal point. Maybe a little bit of raiding on the water for the very most part, but generally speaking, not that much naval action. It's mostly just build units and go and kill your opponent. So we'll see how this one's going to go. No surprises here to see Tiger Boss go on Gaia. He's first picked Gaia. He's on the map Midgard. This is what he wants. Super FM, on the other hand, for those of you not really knowing these players, Super FM in Legacy, he was a vanilla specialist. He played basically only the Egyptian gods on vanilla. There was no drafts back then. The tournaments on vanilla were basically all free choice gods. I don't recall there being many tournaments where you couldn't repeat gods, but there just wasn't any drafts. And yeah, Super FM didn't really play a whole lot other than Egyptian. And then when he moved over to the Titans, he played pretty well on the Titans as well. Basically only played Egyptian there as well. So this is going to be one of the first games I will have seen of him piloting the Hades, which I'm very excited about seeing here. Tiger Boss, on the other hand, he was a Atlantean special on the Titans. He played Uranus, he played Gaia, he played Kronos, and all of the kind of tournaments on the Titans that were going by, again, no draft system, but they had this rule going towards the end of it, which was no repeat gods that you've already won with. So in a best of 5, you only needed 3 gods to play, to be able to play, to have success. And Tiger Boss would oftentimes actually get quite far in a tournament only playing Atlantean, because he was actually really, really good with it. Now, I'm excited to see Tiger Boss here getting forced off of his Atlantean and having to work this one out with a different god. But in this draft, he's gotten himself Gaia and he's gotten himself Kronos. Super FM banned out the Uranus, and he actually got banned on Ra, so he doesn't get that Ra for himself, but he did get his Isis, whereas Tiger Boss picked away the set. So, very exciting here to see what these guys are going to go for. Temple coming up on this way for Super FM. It's looking like a fairly standard build order from Super FM, and it's looking like a fairly standard advance time from Tiger Boss, to be honest. This is like a... Wait. he one villager short? I'm not actually 100% sure. But it looks like it's a fairly standard 330 advance time from Target Boss. He's got himself the one dock down. And the question is, where to next? He's got 3 villagers on gold. He's got himself a whole bunch of villagers on the wood line over here as well. As the fishing ship's going to be moving around. But another dock going to be coming down onto this side. We do see the Oracle Hero already converted, not picking up this relic just yet. Dwarven Horseshoes. That's an insane relic here for Gaia. Gaia, obviously, real big fan of using those Contarius if it's at all possible here. And we'll see. I'm very interested in what Super Fim's going to be going for in this matchup. This is a challenging matchup for the Hades player, especially on water, but lots of options here. We'll see how things are going to go. As in the main base here. Counter barracks. Counter barracks. Double counter barracks here for Tiger Boss. He's going to be going in with Mass Terma? Mass Terma? It's not a bad idea. If Super Fim goes for a fast second town center, which is the quote-unquote meta. And I'm saying meta quote-unquote right now because I just don't believe there's an actual, like... Okay, so what does meta mean? Meta means the kind of best play. The best play in the game. The quote-unquote meta for water maps right now, fast second town center. Now, I say it in brackets or quotation marks because I just don't think that players really know what the best play is right now. It's really, really hard to grind out enough games and really test all the different strategies and all the different concepts at this point. So at any point, anyone can get caught out. But we just simply see a military academy coming through for Super FM. 2 military academies coming through for Super FM. Has he scouted yet is the question. No, he's got no idea what's coming for him. And it's pure Terma at the moment for our main man Tiger Boss. He's only got 2 of those counter barracks out at the moment, but lots and lots of units are going to be moving forward. And Super FM, he's in trouble right now. He is in trouble. He does not have this map, this gold mine protected. He does have sentinels, and he's going to be chucking those down. He gets himself watchtowers as well. Villager coming through to build this house up. I want to see a wall over here. I want to see a wall over here, and I want those Terma gone if I am Super FM at this moment. But Tiger Boss is going to continue to rampage onto this map here, onto this position. Good garrison there from Tiger Boss, from Super FM, keeping that villager alive. A little bit unlucky from Tiger Boss there is Super FM here, retreating back into his main base, and now we see the wall coming up. That's what he needs. You don't even need it to get completed that badly. When you're a building, I'm about to say something that I'm not 100% sure is the truth, but when something is a building foundation, I think armor stats apply, but to what degree I don't really know. It could be 50%, so they still have a decent amount of armor there. Someone in the chat might be able to. Armor applies but takes 4x damage. There you go. I was close. Actually, I might actually be 100% correct there in what I said. Takes 4x damage or half armor. I don't know. Is that how math works? I don't think so. Alrighty. Terma swinging around onto this position here as well. Going to be picking off a villager. Does manage to get that one. Good win there for Tiger Boss. Charging into the main base over here. We've got those hoplites in the back there. And then he needs to get himself some stables, right? He gets an armory coming up. That's another idea. That is another idea. Why waste time here in the classical age when you can go to the heroic age and start making Peltast? Because the best composition, quote unquote, for Hades thus far against Atlantean is Hoplite, but it's Hoplite and Peltast. So very, very difficult composition to beat as the Atlantean player, because you don't really have great counter infantry in Kara Ballista, and if your opponent goes for Peltast and for Hoplite, you can't really have a front line. If you go Kara Ballista Terma or Kara Ballista Contarius even, you're not really having a great front line for that either. So it's very, very challenging to break through. Not to mention that if you build Kara Ballista, they're also countered by Peltast to boot. So it's to say it's challenging is an understatement. But we do have that next age coming through, a whole bunch of military barracks coming in, and it is going to be Thea. So the relic was grabbed. Dwarven Horseshoes is in. These Contarius are going to be very, very quick. They're going to be super, super quick on this map. And not only the Contarius, you can already see that this relic is applied to the Terma. And this is a big reason maybe why he's going for Terma in this matchup. Meanwhile, on the bottom of the map, we do see the Servant looking around for a couple of little attacks there. Another villager getting taken down. Nice snipe there from Tiger Boss as he gets in and out. Good micro here, trying to target down that Minotaur down to 95 HP. Aphrodite is clicked up, but Superfim, he is very much constricted in this game. Archer range coming down onto the back. Terma poking in at the moment as well. There's the Terma charging forward. Those hoplites are on the back. We've got that archery range coming up now for Superfim there to boot. And those are the upgrades coming through immediately. Heavy Cavalry, Lance of Stone, Poseidon's Secret.
UG.
There's the hoplites yet again. Pushing forward, doing what they can for the time being, but he's just got to defend here, it seems. We do have the archers. He's not building Peltast. He's going Toxotes. Oh, he can't build any Peltast yet. I see. Never mind. Now he's in the heroic age. Now he might build some Peltast. We'll see. I don't know. Nonetheless, upgrades all coming through for Tiger Boss as well. His economy is about to start stonking. He's getting himself the Dryads out, and look at all the Contarius coming through. They are cheap. 51 food, 34 gold, and a very, very terrifying position to be in for Superfim. But Superfim, it's time to move forward. He's got an aggressive God Power. Tiger Boss doesn't. So he got 2 aggressive God Powers. Tiger Boss has got 1. Stymphalian Birds at the top there. Unit you want to kill here if you can first is that Caladria, and he does manage to do so. Another Hesperid's Tree coming in onto this position. As the curse gets dropped down, Carnivora in onto this position as well. Restoration coming through. Achilles still targeting down that Stymphalian Bird as it's getting pushed back. Tiger Boss here trying to micro. He's got those heavy Contarius at the moment on the front there, but the Nemean Lion getting some great damage done. As Superfim says, it's go time, charging forward here into all of those Contarius. Tiger Boss's Dryads on the back going to be getting cleaned up. We've got the Achilles going to be taking out those Dryads very, very quickly here to boot. The Contarius are trying to come through for Tiger Boss at the moment, but Superfim, his army is brutally strong. He's got himself 100 population over that 84 population of Tiger Boss here, but he's deciding it's time to retreat. Now you have to also remember that there's a handful of Dryads here, so that population is a little bit higher for Tiger Boss because they don't count towards the population there. And now Tiger Boss is going to be looking to put a little bit more pressure back over onto Superfim. Superfim is out of gold. He also, can I select this? He does have himself that upgrade Vault of Erebus. Don't know when he got it, but he's got it. So he will be getting that little bit of gold in. Oracle going to be spotting the gold mine for the time being. And it's kind of almost like Superfim just has to sit back here and defend for the time being. As the Contarius, look at these guys. They are zooming. 6.9 speed. Are you killing me? Are you kidding me? That's kind of crazy. That's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff. Tiger Boss coming onto this position. Going to be taking out some villagers over here as well. And we're villagers getting into the fight there. Random Oracle going to be moving off to the right side of the map there, as well as Superfim is going to sit. Wait, meanwhile, in the main base, little bits of raids coming through. It looks as if the villagers have mostly been kept alive here. As Superfim, he is now about to face a very, very scary Tiger Boss army. He's got the Arcus. He's got the Contarius. He's got the fight happening here. Caladria getting dropped for the second time. Second restoration is down, though, for Superfim as he is attempting to hold on this position. Peltas going after the enemy Arcus there, but there aren't that many left, as it does look like the units of Super FM are getting cleaned up in this one. He's not able to hold on here as all his units are gone. The gold mine is going to be next, and it looks to me like Tiger Boss is going to be moving in to a game 1 victory. Ladies and gentlemen, those Hades Shades are going to be a big, big help here, but it's just not going to be enough. GG! Tiger Boss claims game number 1, gets that win with his Gaia. He's going to be happy about that one. He knows he's got to win every single time with those Atlanteans. That's his comfort pick. You can see those resources just get out of control here. Honestly, I think that may have just been economic upgrades here.
Yuji?
It actually was just simply put economic upgrades with Super FM not getting his. I could be wrong about that. Nonetheless, Tiger Boss holds that big scary curse push over here and puts him out of his misery straight away with a big counter push afterwards. We'll move on to game number 2 very, very shortly. Make sure you guys stick around. Don't forget to check out EGC TV, Elite Gaming channel on YouTube as well. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sorted members of the jury, we have got ourselves a game number 2. Unfortunately, we're having some observation difficulties, but we have got the recorded game right now, so we're going to be jumping into this one and motoring ahead. The map is Savannah. At the bottom of the map, we do have the Poseidon player, Super FM, playing against the set player, Tiger Boss. Now, Super FM here, he is at his heart, in his soul, at the core of his being. He's a set player. And the one thing that I know as a set player is you know the weaknesses of set better than anyone else. So I'm excited to see him piloting Poseidon here in an attempt to take out this mighty set of Tiger Boss. Now, Tiger Boss, as we've already been saying, he's a little bit of a Atlantean kind of specialist. Now, whether or not that means he can or cannot pilot set to a high level remains to be seen. I'm excited to see him prove me wrong here, as he's going to be getting himself a little bit of wood in so he can grab that pickaxe. He's already got himself the monument to the villagers here. He's got the pickaxe pre-queued. He's sending the villagers forward onto the food in the main base here for Super FM. To me, it's basically just looking like he's going for as fast of an advance as he possibly can. He's already got the temple coming up, and he's got the lure down. And what does this actually mean? Well, it basically means if he wants to, he can go for a 315 advance here. But it looks like he's going onto the wood instead, so a 330 or a 345, not going to be out of the question here. And my overlay is all incorrect, and now it's correct. See, a simple push of the button fixes all things. Nonetheless, Tiger Boss, he has managed to find himself some elephants on this Savannah map. I could be wrong, but I think there is a consistency here of elephants that spawn in the corner of the map, and I think Tiger Boss is somewhat aware of that. Let me have a quick look at his perspective right now. Yeah, he basically just sent that priest directly to the corner here with the, he converted a lion, then he's converting the elephant, getting the scouting in the main base here. The Tiger Boss just checking things out, sees the gold mine, sees the hunt on the front, and a really fast advance here from Super FM, which is coming through. As we can see, it's looking like it's going to be a 330 here. The units are going to get across the map really quickly, and they're going to be putting pressure onto Tiger Boss super early here. He's got that Theseus coming out, lots of villagers on the gold to get himself the Atalanta in. I wonder if he's going to pull off of gold and then just go into Centaur here. Could work out really, really well. Idea being, once he gets the gold, pull one villager off of gold onto favor, two villagers off of gold onto wood, and then spam out Centaur straight at his opponent to put all the pressure on. It's always a great idea. As the villagers now moving on to this position, they are coming through. Little bit of a later advance time here from Tiger Boss. When I'm playing against Poseidon, I'm actually feeling like 345. That's the advanced time I want to go. Because look,
Legend.
Theseus is now in. Centaur has moved across the map. If I was advanced for 345 right now,
Metemos.
I can defend against this without any problems. Now, there's nothing here to really need to be defended at the moment. Even a 4-minute advance time, as you can see, this the Super FM Centaur now coming through, you'd be able to defend against this very simply. But Centaur getting that damage done. We do have a handful of villagers on the wood for the time being here. As to me, this is looking like Tiger Boss wants to go for some barracks to kick this game off. As the Centaur going to be retreating back. We do have some lions here checking around for the time being. Vision getting placed down in this position here. Do we see any sort of shifting sand shenanigans? Answer? Not just yet. But Super FM here, he's shown his hand. Second town center is coming. Toskopos going to be taking a look around over here. We've got the Centaur. We've got the Atalanta in. The barracks are through. The units charging in onto this position. Going to be getting that little splash attack onto those animals of set. Not going to be able to kill one of those just yet. As Super FM going to have to retreat away. And the villagers look like they're now going to start moving over onto this town center. Now, this is really scary if you're Super FM. Because the units are coming out. Shifting Sands is going to be available. We see a Wadget getting sniped. That's huge. That's huge. That kind of shuts down the Shifting Sands in a big way. Villagers coming through. They spot the line of set. Take that one out. Oh, he also gets a little bit of food for this town center as well. There's not going to be any time to Shifting Sands over there as the Tiger Boss Spearman is way too far away. And that town center is well and truly going to be getting finished by the time he gets over there. And if he's not, there's still going to be a ceasefire remaining. So even if he's Shifting Sands 2 Wadgets onto that position, it's not going to do all too much here. And not only that, we've also got the hero on the back. He's got that blue crystal shard. What else does he have? Where's the Atalanta? We've got the Centaur chasing around. Atalanta going to snipe down the priest on that position. The Spearman is in 9, 8, 7, 6. Shifting Sands is too late here. It doesn't even have to click ceasefire. As the town center finishes. And the Spearman will end up going down. And Super FM's got to be very happy about the position that he's in right now. He's got to be very, very happy. He's got the town center. He's got the main base over here with some chickens. Stables coming up. Chickens coming through in the main base over here for Tiger Boss. He can either go for a town center and try and somehow keep himself going in this game. Or he can apply mass 1 town center pressure at the moment. He looks like he's going for a town center. But the units here for our main man Super FM, he can still get forward and even pressure this town center that's going up, though with 12 villages and a pharaoh. Does cost a lot more to get your town center up, even though it finishes quicker. Costs a lot more resources to get this one up with this many villagers onto it. As we do see the units now moving across the map to put some pressure on, but the town center will get completed here in a big way. Toskopos going to get sniped down. Town center here, 10 seconds remaining. As the villagers coming through, going to start spreading out those walls and all the good stuff there. Tiger Boss now, he's going to be losing the Wadgets here. He's not making the micro at the moment. 1 Wadget down. Both of the Gazelle down in a fairly average position there as the Spearman going to be pulling back. The villagers all sitting idle for the time being. Can they jump over here onto those Gazelle or no? We'll have to wait and see. Elephant going to get deleted down over there. As the Hippias are going to be pulling back into the main base. Two stables up in the main base. Got the armory coming down as well. There is a very, very clear path to victory for both players in this game. And that's second gold mine. So how do you stop that second gold mine from being a problem is the big question. So let's talk about what potentially Tiger Boss can do here. I don't think he's really got an option to get to the heroic age right now. He needs to spam units out. And he needs to get walls out. He needs to secure this position. He needs to be putting pressure onto Super FM. Super FM right now is just going to the heroic age. He's got an armory up coming in. And it looks to me like Tiger Boss is also... He's just going to the heroic age himself here. I'm not even sure he's going to be able to make it. He doesn't have the gold at the moment. Food-wise, struggling a little bit. He's over onto wood here. He's going to have to cancel villages, I think. The Hippias and the Centaur coming through. They spot a villager here, attempting to get up the market, but not going to hang around to get a couple more pot shots on to that villager, as he should respect the fact that Super FM can just micro there as Sekhmet, the god of choice. Barracks coming down for our main man. Tiger Boss at the moment. Villagers retreating back. He's going to lose a lot of resources by not garrisoning. They're too much Atlantean. You've got to garrison first. You got to garrison first. But nonetheless, 2 town centers. Heroic Age not coming through just yet for Super FM. Now it's coming through. He's got that Aphrodite in, and I do think this is going to be a very, very difficult second gold mine to hold here for Tiger Boss. In all honesty, the math just does not work out in the favor for the set player if you go for units and you don't get any damage done. Because if your opponent goes for somewhat of a naked town center, in this position here, Super Fim just went for like 1 unit and then a town center, Atalanta coming out, right? And then a town center. Whereas Tiger Boss went double barracks. He went for a handful of spearmen. He went for the Wadgets as well. So he's just so far behind on villages. You can see the differential right now of 12. And those are Greek villages. And yes, you can have a Pharaoh empowering, but honestly, not that big of a deal compared to the Greek gather rate. And now Tiger Boss, he's going to have to come and grab this gold mine really soon. Look, he's just about out of it. 400 gold remaining. He can move forward and try and put a Migdol stronghold down here. As we do see some armory upgrades coming through for Super FM.
N wedge.
As the spearman going to get sniped down over there. And there's the Heroic Age, and Super Fem is looking for a fight. He's getting himself that heavy cavalry. He didn't go for... Has he got Spirited Charge yet? No Spirited Charge just yet. Also, no Thracian horses, so he's kind of going for the killing blow right at this moment. Curse going down. Can see a Citadel Center to get produced here as all the units of Tiger Boss are getting absolutely erased from the map, from this position here. The Tiger Boss Scarab on the back, they're going to get sniped down to boot here. And in that moment, Tiger Boss going to tap out. And Super FM levels the series. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into game number 3 as fast as possible right now because we just cast the recorded game. I think they're going at the moment, so we're going to jump into that one very quickly for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game number 3. We have it here, not live. Well, yes, live and in stereo to some degree. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what the results are, but unfortunately we didn't get the spectate, so we're in the recorded game here. Map is Anatolia. Gods are Loki for Super FM versus Tiger Boss's Kronos. A lot of exciting things can happen on this map if you are a Loki fan. Kronos has also got a lot of very, very strong early game options in this one, from deconstructing docks to all of the other stuff that they can kind of make happen with early pressure, time shifting buildings, Valors, Prometheans, etc., etc. It can be a very, very difficult time to be a Loki player if that sort of stuff happens. So you do see the Oracle going to be coming through. There is one idea here on a map to deny this Oracle scouting, and that would be to put a wall up over here to prevent the Oracle from coming through over on this side, and then you can potentially put a wall over on the other side. You don't even have to finish the wall, you just need to tap it, and it can prevent the Oracle from getting in and seeing the dock. But the fishing ships are going to get dropped off, dock's going to come back straight away, and just a tiny bit of advantage here for Tiger Boss to kick this game off. Norse, of all of the civilizations, is the one that struggles the least against this sort of early deconstruction because you don't lose out on any economy from it due to not having to have a villager rebuild the dock twice. So that's a thing there. We just see our cheeky little berserk coming out nice and early here for Super FM. As Tiger Boss has already got his own fishing ships coming out. He's only got 4 out at the moment compared to the 3, right, that Super FM has. So he's completely fine here. to continue on in this game. Another cheeky idea, again, that he could do is if you can get some early gold income going in, move up here, wall this, and you can really have a pretty nice start if your opponent hasn't come through on those docks early game. Nonetheless, not going to see that. I don't think we are seeing a cheeky little dock coming up on this position over here. Oracle's getting spotted. I don't know if Super FM even has the time right now to drop that dock. He needs to get a temple down and get going in this game. But he can always throw a dock up there much later, and that can be a completely different sort of idea. As Super FM going to slowly start wandering forward here into the main base of Tiger Boss, poking his head in. I don't see a spy just yet for our main man, Super FM, but he's just seeing what Tiger Boss is doing for the time being here. We've got the thing around the wrong way, don't we? But what's wrong? That's wrong. All right, we fixed it. Don't worry about it. Super FM's Loki. Sorry about that, guys. Temple coming up in the main base here is, it looks like Super FM wants to get this one up as fast as possible. Though I don't think he's got the resources to advance just yet. He can get himself one dwarf, a second dwarf going to be coming through the classical age for Tiger Boss. Isn't even close. He's going for a pretty sizable boom here. I'm not exactly sure. One advantage you can do, or one thing you can do with Chronos, is you can actually build all the docks here and just time shift them forward. There's nothing wrong with that. So we do see a dock coming up over here. If you want to defend this against any early game harass, you can just draw a wall like this, right? And then you just have to make sure that the Berserk taps the center wall there. But it looks like the dock's going to finish nonetheless. No problems. Don't have to worry about it too much in the early game. As we see a dock coming down here for Tiger Boss. He wants to put all the pressure onto the water that he can, because that's where he's got the advantage. With that deconstruction, that's where that sort of comes in. But Prometheus on the way, so no surprises there. Temple going to be getting moved forward onto this position to put some heavy pressure over here, as the Temple going to get whacked away at. Not going to get a whole bunch of damage because the Berserks don't really do all that much there. But the Herser going to be getting trained out. Going to come up onto this position. He's going to have potentially... Well, he's going to have one out for the defense. And there's not going to be any human units here. So that Herser is going to be able to clean everything up here, I guess. As the Berserk's going to be retreating away. Still not having that advance time in is giving those Prometheans just a little bit of an advantage here. More fishing ships coming out onto this side. The Herser are now through to come up and defend. There's a relic over here. Dwarven Horseshoes. Definitely one you want to keep away from the Atlantean play, because this affects those Terma as well, which we've already seen be very effective for Tiger Boss in this series thus far. As a troll coming through, we see the deconstruction onto this one, and that is going to be all she wrote for the fish on that top side of the water here. As the Prometheans are going to be getting chased away. Fire ships now coming through, going to be taking out the fishing ships of Super FM on that location there. As there's that hero Mamilo using that Prometheus Valor to come through, can take out the troll very, very quickly there, but it looks like this is going to be more than enough for Super FM to defend. He's got that chase down onto the Citizen. It has been spied, but nonetheless, chasing that one down. Got a Mermiller there that can get cleaned up as well. Meanwhile, over on this position, Fireship has picked off one fishing ship, and it kind of looks like to me, the Super FM, he's not going to be getting a whole lot of economy from this fishing shenanigans right now. Tiger Boss is going to have all the advantage cooking in this game from economy. Is he getting more fishing ships out? I don't see them. As we do see a Berserk there chasing down a cheeky little Oracle. Getting a snipe here is going to be very, very nice. As there goes that Oracle on that position. Military barracks getting taken down on this side as well. And over on this side, fishing ships are all going to go down. And we do have one cheeky longboat coming through to defend. One longboat to defend against one fire ship. This is more than fine in terms of defense. If Super FM wants to just garrison said fishing ship into the dock, it can be even quicker to dispose of that one. But focusing onto this position, the Mamilo are going to be charging through, trying to get a little bit of value somewhere. Do we see any sort of ghost buildings? No ghost buildings coming through. Super FM not paying all too much attention to that one there. The whoop manages to get a fishing ship as well, but the fire ship is now done with. Some fishing ships coming out onto this position for Tiger Boss as well. And now we do see a cheeky little Caraballister here. Caraballister hero that does a lot of damage against those infantry units, but if he gets caught out, it takes a lot of damage very, very quickly as Super FM says it's time to move forward. He does get that one onto the back there. Living with 48 HP. He's got a micro onto it because it does so much damage, and he finally does manage to get over onto that one there. There's no, or there is a Valor available, but a Valkyrie spawn here as Tiger Boss. He is now pushed into his main base here. Those Hursa are going to be getting so much value here. We've got that Valor coming down onto another Caraballister onto the back there, but the Valkyrie is still high and mighty in this fight. Caraballister are going to be going down to boot here. The town center getting some good damage done, but it's not going to be enough. Ironry spawn coming through here for Super FM to boot there. As the Hursa coming over to take out those citizens onto that position, and the villagers all over the place are going to be in for a very, very challenging position. We've got the watchtowers coming through. The Valkyrie does end up falling there as units retreating out from underneath all of the chaos, as I think Super Fim thinks, and he should be thinking, that was some good value there. Gets in, gets that damage done. Really, really nice play as the Vermilla are going to be charging through to take out the Ironry there. And the villagers can now jump onto this gold mine. No problems. And there's the Bragi on the way for Super FM to boot. And in all honesty right now, there is a strategy which I do not think Tiger Bots can defend at this point, which would be throw down 2 longhouses or 3 longhouses. Actually, you don't even need to throw down that many. Throw 1 longhouse down, get yourself medium infantry, get yourself heavy infantry, get yourself Mithril Breastplate, get yourself Call of Valhalla, convert all your villagers into berserks, and then just flaming weapons and go. Because it's just going to be a very big challenge for Tiger Boss to be able to punish anything that Super Fim's going to be doing here. And you've got any time. You don't have to do it straight away. You can do it at any point here. Once you get to 175 pop and go, very, very strong. But it's also not 100% necessary to do that either, as there's a little bit, I guess there's a little bit of risk to it. Nonetheless, a bunch more Hursa are going to be getting created. Battle balls coming through. Another longhouse coming down onto this position. What are we seeing coming out of this? There's that medium infantry we were talking about, and Herdman. An interesting decision there. Herdman coming through. Well, you can pick off Terma, you can pick off Contarius. There aren't either of those units out at the moment, and this Caraballister is not considered cavalry. It's a specialist ranged unit. Ranged soldier, siege, human soldier, ranged line upgraded. That's all it gets. As the army of Super Fim slowly starting to wander forward. He's got that flaming weapons. He's got nothing to wait on at the moment. Charging after the villagers at the top. Battle ball distracting over here. And now flaming weapons getting dropped down in advance. Hursa on the back need to get involved in this fight right now. As he gets a troll spawn on the front there, he's going to be getting a lot more than that in this fight if Tiger Boss decides he wants to continue taking this one. There's another Myth unit spawn, the Valkyrie spawn this time here. Battle ball going after the town center, tanking on the town center to boot. A troll spawn on the back there. And I sneeze again. As Super FM makes short work of Tiger Boss's Chronos on this map, Anatolia. Game point now for Super FM, going up to 2-1 in this best of 5 series. We'll get that next game going for you very, very shortly. Thanks for hanging around. Don't forget to check out EGC TV. But a solid game here. Very, very solid game plan. We'll see you in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4 is with us. Sporting in the blue color. Playing as, finally, his favorite main god. He's on the Egyptians, and he is playing as Isis. His name is Super FM. His opponent today, he's been beaten, battered, bruised, but he's still in this series. It's 2-1 for Super FM as Tiger Boss is fighting for his chance to stay in the winner's bracket. He's going in with Zeus. The map is Oasis, ladies and gentlemen, and I have just remembered I have to do this as well. Big apologies. And we're off to the races here. Monument coming up for Super FM. nice and fast. This is more and more the kind of standard you want to go for with Egyptians. You get that fast monument down. It gets that favor coming in nice and quick. The one downside to throwing this monument up is that getting the gold in to get a really fast classical age can be a little bit challenging. So if you want to go for a faster advance time, you can sacrifice like a minute or 2 minutes of favor generation. So around about 12-ish favor to get that temple up a little bit quicker and the monument a little bit later as an idea. But then, you know, things happen. So we'll see what sort of an idea here Superfilm's going to go for. Tiger Boss here, he's going to have to figure out how to make this god work in this matchup. He's got to get himself the second talent center nice and fast. Or he's going to play a really, really aggressive Athena rush here and see what he's going to be able to go for. We see a temple coming down for the time being. I have to flip these guys around, don't I? Because they are on the wrong side here. Flipperoonie update. Off to the races here. And Superfin must have overgathered wood just a little bit. You only need to get 8 wood as ISIS because you get a 10% discount on technologies. Over on this position, we got the Rias crown. This is my favorite relic because you know how greedy I am. You know I am a boomer. Bit of a boomer, guys. That's what we do. Rias crown going to be making that even more fun. Reducing the gold cost by 10%. Reducing the wood cost by 10%. And also giving your town centers 0.01 favor a second is pretty decent. It's not nothing. Nose of the Sphinx here, giving an extra 15% boost to HP. On this position, we've got the Anvil of Hephaestus, reducing the relic, reducing the gold cost of your armories. And we've got the Ring of Nibelung here with the extra 0.5 gold a second. Kind of a quarter of Vaults of Erebus. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Hermes coming through nice and quick here for Tiger Boss, whereas Superfim, he's taking his time. Temple coming up. Looks like it's going to be a 4:30 advance time for Superfim. I personally don't mind the 4:30, but I would like to see this wood line here being used as a bit of a defensive resource. Temple, maybe a house here, maybe a house next to the tower as an idea. Nonetheless, village is going to be retreating back. Pharaoh coming through as well. We're starting powering up that mining camp over here. And immediately, prosperity being used. How many villages? 10 villages in that position. Meanwhile, on the main base here, it looks to me with 5 on gold, 5 on wood, this looks like a fast second town center for Tiger Boss. Now, with the early prosperity from Superfim, this most likely is a fast second town center as well. He's getting himself that Flood of the Nile. He's getting himself a priest or 2 to help defend. And it should be possible for him to get a town center up most of the time. Whoop.
Greek.
Whoop. Little bit of a challenge here. For Mr. Tiger Boss.
And
as he's been spotted. Toskapos on the other side. And what is Superfim going to do now? He's got all the gold. Village center. Village center on the way for Superfim. Why go for a town center when you can go for a village center, he says. There is nothing wrong with this. At all, in my opinion. There is nothing wrong with a cheeky little village center if you're going for some sort of a timing attack. If you want to play for a one town center style with Egyptians by going for a fast heroic, your best bet is village center fast heroic. Honestly, you don't have to deal with anything your opponent's doing. You can get yourself a really nice advance time. You get the extra economy coming out of it, and you don't have to do as much damage to your opponent. So you don't have to play as overly aggressively. Armory coming down as well. And Tiger Boss here. He's going to be thinking he's up against a one town center. He's got no idea. He hasn't scouted. He hasn't dove into his opponent's base. He's got no idea. He's playing in the blind. He's getting himself hand axe, pickaxe. He's got some good scouting going on outside of his base, but that's about it. That's about it. Armory coming up now for Super FM. And it's just about to be it. And look at the food. He doesn't have a whole lot. He's got 14 villages on. He's got a lot on the gold here. He's getting some wood income for some reason as well. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe he's going to get some armory upgrades while he's going along. Market coming down this way. He can sell the wood for gold, I guess. But does he have himself the husbandry upgrade?
Rig.
Gerig.
Yes, he has husbandry. So that's what some of the wood was for. We'll have to wait and see. But a little bit of a boom off to kick this game off. As we do see the units now starting to push out, just checking things out. Sees that there's nothing up on this spot, so he's going to be totally fine with that as the obelisk over here going to get taken down. This guy, he's holding Rhea's crown. Why would you not take Rhea's crown back before you build the town center? Nonetheless. Husbandry now coming through for our main man, Tiger Boss, as well. As he hasn't thrown down a building yet. He hasn't got any resources for it. There he's going for a market. There is some validity to the idea of doing a 2-town center fast heroic with Greek against Egyptian. But against ISIS, I think you're going to be in trouble. I think you need to get some units out. Otherwise, your opponent is going to be able to secure a gold mine for free. He's going to be able to click Ancestors Eclipse when he wants to. And a whole bunch of other good stuff. The lumber camp coming down over there. There's a couple of archer rangers getting dropped down. Stables coming down onto this position as well. As the obelisk on the front going to get sniped down, and we'll see if Tiger Boss can make this one work. If he can make a good defense happen, because he's got a slight advantage, ever so slight, because he's on 2 town centers. But does he? He still doesn't know, right? Yeah, he still doesn't know what Super FM's doing. He's going to think, my guess is he's going to be thinking either there's a village center in the base, or this is like a 4 monument fast heroic and there's just going to be a ton of Scorpion Men. Honestly, the 4 monument fast heroic seems a little bit more scary, to be completely honest. Migdol Stronghold coming down onto this side. Siege Works up on there as well, ready to be grabbed. As the game is slowly moving towards somewhat of a climax to some degree. I mean, we're seeing a 9-minute treaty here. Both of these guys have not touched each other. They're just like, no, we're not going to do anything. Walls coming up over here as well. We've seen immediate ballistics through for Super FM. He knows exactly what he wants in this game. He's going to be empowering that Migdol through, getting himself a lot of units out here. A couple of siege towers coming through as well. It's just the one Migdol, as the Katoskopos going to be coming in, checking out exactly what's happening. I can't believe he went for an immediate ballistics. That's kind of wild. It's a lot of resources. Okay, nonetheless, it does make sense to use the armory here. Wait, oh, maybe it was cheap. Wait, what? Huh? Tiger Boss. Tiger Boss, what? Oh, his villagers were all caught out up here. I'm not even watching the game. I totally missed it. I thought he misclicked. Okay. The villagers here getting raided by the Scorpion Men and the Sphinx. Excuse me, man. I'm having some troubles here. But he keeps the villagers alive, but now no ceasefire for Ancestors Eclipse. That's exactly what Super FM wants. And now he can just go. Whole bunch of Prodromus getting queued out. We've got the Peltas coming through as well. As the army marching in. Super FM is still pumping units out. He's also going to be getting himself that copper armor through I really like this idea. Instead of getting in for your Migdol unit upgrades, you just get yourself the armory upgrades and just call it a day. But he's about to be greeted by the very, very strong Greek units here. Those Peltas can snipe down those chariot archers really, really easily. Ancestors of the Cliff's going to be coming through onto this position. There's 3 Scorpion Men. 1 Scorpion Man getting bolted on that position there is the Prodromus getting cleaned up. Scorpion Men now charging through to take out the villagers on this gold mine. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, 3 goes down. Villagers retreating into the town center as well. The Camel Rider is going to be charging through to take out even more villagers. At the moment, Super FM has got more villagers than Tiger Boss, even though Tiger Boss is on the settlement here. As a chariot archer is going to be attempting to take out the heroes on the back, sniping down the Odysseus there. Siege Towers cleaning up those stables and everything else on the front there to boot. The village is going to come back onto the gold mine. This is kind of the only gold mine which Tiger Boss has got access to at the moment. The stable's going down. He's got no military buildings and he taps out. And Super FM cleans him up in record fashion. He lost that first game where it was looking a little bit shaky, where Tiger Boss was on the god that he is on the Civ that he was feeling very comfortable with, that Gaia. But it looks to me like in the end here, Tiger Boss just does not have the god pool to compete at the highest level here with Super FM. He's just completely outclassed in every single way after that first game. Really solid series here from Super FM. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch, from the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit up EGC TV, check out their content, and I'll see you guys in the next game.